can be.
Oh, it won't let me show to you and stream. That's weird. Oh no, we are streaming. Oh, I just can't record. Oh, I can't record while I'm doing. All right, so we're live right now. Just so you know, let me throw this out there so everybody.
Don't say anything weird.
Ben.
I'm gonna be pointing the wrong way, and
Who cares?
You can see us. It's fine.
Oh man, the forever cow lick, bro.
shoot, I have one right now. It's like, what's
Yeah, don't
Oh,
even
I
talk to
just,
me.
I
Don't
just,
even talk to me.
women, I hate. It's the worst thing is when women butt in when guys are talking about like things that make them look ugly. Because women are always like, oh yeah, I had this one hair that was out of place and it was horrible. They're fucking gorgeous asses. Just
Exactly. How dare you?
She's sitting there in a fucking sweater. Looks better than both of us.
Hey, easy, private, easy.
Hey, that's the same shirt you had on in your picture with the money. Ah, I remember. Yup.
I just did laundry for the first time in like 4 weeks, so you know.
Oh.
Hey, don't say it like that.
Oh.
Like I'm dirty or something, you know. Let me see your laundry. Go pick up your laundry basket right now.
I just did my laundry today.
Only reason he upped that once a week is upped just because there's a girl living there now.
Yeah, we gotta be a little bit clean around here, brother.
ML. All right, we're gonna go with the last MPL.
Nice. Zena, you shake it off.
Mm-hmm.
And the chicken dance. And the chicken dance.
That's how we need to start. We're gonna take it away to Zena. Hi.
Hi everyone.
Yeah, just get it going.
They're gonna be like, the hell's with this chick?
You would make an impact for sure.
Bok, motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it says here.
Honestly, if you said that, I would just pass it off to like, what was that? Bok. Oh, that's her catchphrase, dude. She's been saying that forever. That's how she ends all her streams. Bok, bitch. Okay. And looks like we.
French fries on top of my monitor for you. I'm gonna look at the potatoes every time I'm talking to you.
But you're not talking to me. Oh yeah, you are. Wait, and this is Ben. Maybe I need to flip mine. I'm in between Zena. A Zena sandwich. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and get carried away with this practice right now. So guys, if you are viewing right now, let me make sure that we have right now.
You're live.
Yeah, I'm live.
Don't look.
I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, I'm not ready.
No, they saw your bok. They saw that shit.
It's already too late. It's over.
It.
Hey, what's going on, Azim? So if you guys are watching us right now and you have comments, I would recommend you guys to put it in the comment section of YouTube, like things to help us with the casting and everything. That's the only ask because we're probably not going to be able to go back and watch the chat. So I am here with Zena, who's going to be doing the hosting for the NACT, which is awesome. She's getting her little practice in here. And then we have the man, the myth, the legend, Ben Dunhadded, who's going to be doing the analyst side with casting with me for the NACT. So we're going to get ourselves a little bit of practice in here. Hopefully we're all ready. We loosened up. We balked out. All right. All right. Let's go. Oh, that actually kind of hurt. Medic. Let me get this ready. This is good. That's good. And all right, so we're going to be going into the match. You're going to go ahead and introduce us, introduce the NACT, introduce what's going on. It is Evos taking on Onic.
Evo. Hold on, let me write this down. I need to take notes in between Evos and Onic.
Yes, that is correct.
I need to pick a team.
Yes, Evos taking on Onyx. Remember, loose and fluid, you're talking to friends. All right. And we are going to be live in 3, 2, 1. Take it away, Xena.
Hello, Mobile Legends fans. Welcome to the North America Challenger Tournament 2023 spring season. Are you ready to watch the best teams in North America battle it out? Because I am. I am your host, Sina Lily. Today we've got 2 top-tier teams, Evos and Onyx, that will be going head-to-head. Whoever will be moving on to be one step closer to be calling themselves the NACT Spring Champions. So let's head over to Private Dancer and Ben Dunhadid to dive into the matches to see who will take the first round.
What's going on, guys? It is Private Dancer here, sans one potato in the flesh here, driving this fleshy suit around for the casting opportunity. Sitting beside me, none other than Ben Dunhadid.
Huh?
Ben?
Yo, sorry, Private, I've had a massive drop of potatoes. I spilled you all over. I had you sitting on top of the monitor.
I
And
knew
you're no
it.
longer there, brother. So, back to you, brother.
with the food accident that Ben is cleaning up, we're gonna jump right into it here as we see the draft for Evos taking on Onyx. It's sure to be a very tight and close one here. We do know Onyx has been showing us. We've watched already a match from theirs earlier, so we're gonna see how well they can kind of capitalize here with this new. I don't want to say new meta because it basically we've had some changes, but it has not been enough really to kind of flex us off of what the meta has been so far.
Yeah, I want to see Edith so bad, and you're right, it is a personal thing for me, but I want to see it. I feel like I can play in any lane right now. I want to see the Julian. I want to see these other picks come through. We're seeing like a staple, right? The Fredrin, the Lapu, those things that are so standard in the game, and I want it to morph a little bit. I want to see something fresh, Private.
Yeah, fresh indeedy, like a new pair of underwear. Hopefully we'll get something like that in this draft. We do see the usual, the regular, the safety net out there with that Valentina. Such a strong pick, but definitely has not had the impressive showing that I've expected out of her. I feel like a lot of people have picked her to take her off of the board for enemy teams and not really capitalized and used her ultimate, that IMU that copies everybody else's ultimates, really effectively lately.
Yeah, we've seen this kind of matchup play out before, the Farsa and the Valentina, right? And it seems like the Farsa wins out almost every single time. The Farsa can rotate faster. She helps her team so much more. And it seems like Valentina's always following, right? They have to react to the play rather than being proactive.
Yeah, and that's going to be the interesting thing here as well. We do usually like those picks, especially with the Farsa, because of how fast she can rotate. On an answer on the Evo side, we do see that Yuzong and the Kaja been picked up. Kaja has actually been a kind of a sneaky roam. Hasn't been banned, not a priority ban, but one of the top roams in most professional play right now, just because of the amount of CC and debilitation that you get from him.
I feel like Kaja gives you so many options, right? Just like talking about so many things it can do. The flicker in and drag someone out, the counter engage. Kaja's just so flexible and provides a little bit of a zone effect throughout a team fight where if that ability is up, you can't really step near it, right? And I was going to talk about the YZ being locked in so early here. I feel like it's really susceptible to a lot of stronger lane picks. YZ has a really strong level 1 and 2, but when it gets to like 3, 4, 5, 6, he's really wanting to rotate into the team fight and can be punished in lane. We could see a Joy come out here. We could see a Benedetta. Could see the Lapu as a classic matchup.
Well, and that usually kind of comes into play with the coaching. Do you sacrifice a little bit of lane presence so that in the mid to late game you have a presence during those team fights, somebody who can get into the back line with that Black Dragon form, swoop down onto a Farja, and be able to take her down with one fail swoop? It's one of those little kind of do I or don't I, pluses and minuses. Yeah, he loses out on the lane, but I mean, the laning phase is only, what, about 6 minutes long? Maybe
Yeah,
10 if you're slow. Yeah. So, I mean, once you get to those turtle fights, once you get out of those lanes, you're not getting bullied in there. He becomes just a huge pickup there as we move into this second banning phase.
Now, Private, what are the third picks on both teams? I'm unable to see them right now, but just talk about the draft a little more. What are the third picks for both teams?
Third picks would be the Ruby and the Yuzong. Are we talking about the bands or the actual picks?
No, the pigs. The pigs. Okay, I couldn't just see them. I wanted to talk on them. So I'm thinking maybe the Ruby is taken as a roam here. Ruby can be played in the XP lane, but it's generally used as a roam just because there's so much better people to take in the XP lane. So I expect it to be a Fredrin jungle, right? I don't think that'll be flexed in the XP lane and the Ruby roam. So it's been really telegraphed right now what they want to do, and it's really up to both teams. I haven't seen a surprise pick come out. It seems like every pick has a clear location where it's going, and it's a very obvious draft from both teams.
Yeah, obvious draft, and I do like the answer of a Ruby because you get a CC versus the CC from Kaja. A lot of big bands taking out here. One thing is the Akai. Haven't seen that band out in a while. We do know I'm not a huge fan of it just because of how technical. I feel like you have to be just a great roam to use Akai effectively, and because more than not, that heavy spin that he does will knock and pinball everybody out of a position that you want them in to kind of get these sets on them. Glow taken out as well, and Lapu, who has still been a mainstay despite his the negative nerfs that he took lately, still kind of a mainstay in that XP lane. So we're definitely waiting to see what we're going to have in that XP lane to take on this Yuzong and hopefully abuse him.
Now, great bands there getting the Lapu out of the pickup because Lapu eats that YZ for lunch all day. That's a beautiful lane for the Lapu. I expect to see like a Benedetta, could see the Edith here, maybe something like the Thamus. We've seen TZ be played into it. There's still a lot of picks. So I worry about banning the Glue and the Lapu was like a little bit wasted because there's so many other picks that can do it. And I feel like the Brody is a good lock-in. There's so much appeal in the front and zoning effect from the Ruby and the Fredrin. They give so much time for the Brody to work. But as we've seen, he falls off a little bit late.
Yeah, and that is the interesting thing. The one thing is, though, when the Yuzong does come into that back line, is the Brody going to be able to stop that? We do see that the Beatrix has gotten picked up here along with a Martis. So they do have something, especially in the front line, that can eat up all of that CC that you attempt to put on, all of that damage. The Mortal Coil from Martis able to withstand CC, to withstand damage. However, there's a really steep hill or crevice that Martis falls off onto once you start hitting that mid game.
Ooh, it looks like the Thamus was picked in for the YZ. So YZ's going to have a tough time in lane. He needs to get out and find those team fights like we're talking about. That's his point. But it's going to be up to the side with Fredrin to block them in and lock them into lane. Stretch out a little bit further because he can punish that YZ pick so much more. YZ has that ability to just float in the back line and do his thing. And the further you can get away from that, the more time you can have without that, the better.
Well, and that's the exact point there, is that what you don't exactly, well, you do have the Ruby. So that's the one good saving grace here. I was going to say we don't really have appeal for the back line, but we have the Ruby. So we have a front line. But the one thing is here, you're leaning pretty heavily on Brody and Farja here for this damage. Right. And you need to protect both of them. Either one of these guys gets taken out in a fight and you're going to have yourself some trouble.
Yeah, I'm worried about. We've seen Brody and Beatrix match off before, and the Beatrix just has so much more DPS in the late game. Let's hope they can end it before that point.
Yeah, it's a true test of attrition. Can you get that early game spike? Can you maintain it and push it into an advantage that takes you out before the late game? As we're going to go ahead and start here. First game between Evos and Onyx.
Yeah, I think I would expect the early game advantage to go to Onyx, right? You're going to have a lot more pressure coming out of these lanes and these rotations. But I think as the time goes by, the Farsa will start to really do work and bust out this early game rotations. And then later on, if they can hold on, NXP can go through and win this game.
Yeah, and right now we're kind of vying for position. Keek Dude in a little bit here, trying to get this Lethal Wanderer. It does look like it is going to be picked up by Evos, so they secure that and be able to rotate quicker. Going to have their actually, was that buff taken by somebody? There's no red buff on the side of Evos.
Might have been a little sneaky play back in there. I don't expect it to affect much, but that could play out if they go for a level 4 player, the first turtle. If someone doesn't have 4, they're stuck at 3, didn't get that second buff, it could be a big problem and a huge steal.
Yeah, we're going to see right now as he is. Oh, no, he has both buffs. So he is in a position here. And especially in that early game, I was going to say it might be a smart move to go ahead and try to hold down Martis, at least start taking a lot of his farm so that it does take him a little bit longer to hit that early game power spike. But they're in a good position here right now, both just vying for position. Still 22 seconds left for the first turtle as both teams just seem comfortable farming right now.
Yeah, it seems like NX has a little bit of positional advantage in the river. They've gained the river bushes, and they're starting pressing. The lanes have been pushed already. It's now up to Onyx to push into this territory and clear out these bushes and hope they don't get picked. It should be Onyx Turtle. They should be theoretically stronger, but sometimes it just doesn't work out like it is on paper.
Yeah, well, you do have that Martis there is going to be able to come in with that Mortal Coil. We're going to see if they can withstand it. It is a 3-on-3. Looks like a fourth from Evos coming in here. Turtle gets picked up by Sensu. Great retry there. Down comes the Feathered Airstrike, raining down damage. Does make Boyet pay for that as well. So it is a 0-1. Oh, Royota in a bad way there. Does get a decent amount of damage onto Ding Doctor. And they're going to go ahead and have to catch a quick ride home there. So 1 kill, 1 turtle for the side of Onyx.
Now, the kill is on Martis, and that's probably the most painful place it could be for NX right now because that's their bridge. That's what gets them to the mid game and the late game is this pressure from Martis. And now they've just gone down 1 kill. He's not like out of the game or anything like that, but it just kind of slows him down, and he won't have that much of an effect. It takes him off the map. He can't farm, and he's going to be a little bit slower in these rotations. Now that he has to go clear his buffs, he's going to get the second piece of the pie.
Yeah, and that is a good pickup by Onyx as well. We do see a little bit of a bit of a greeting from Onyx down here for Domeng Jr. or Doctor. We're going to call him Domeng and ignore that DR. He is able to kind of stave it off, but we do see a little bit of a play here. Evos trying to come up, get some vision here. Brusco doing a good job clearing out these bushes, letting everybody know where everyone is, but not much going to happen here.
No, I think Kaja serves as a really good ward, right? She can go around and get vision pretty safely of everything, and nobody really wants to walk into a Kaja. It's a really tough thing to catch a Kaja, right? So tanky, so she can use as a walking world, checking out where the jungle rotation's at, where the marksman, where's the mage, where's everything at, and that should make NX a little bit safer in this early game, but a play private.
Yeah, play comes down, does come the Feathered Airstrike. They're not able to catch a kill yet. Boyet might be using that Mortal Coil to escape as well. Up at the top, we do see that Thamus is cutting up that lane. Ryota doing a good job to kind of get ready for this next turtle that does. Oh, nope, he wasn't able to clear it though. So he is going to have to go in here trying to set up for that turtle as there are 3 seconds left on the board.
Hey, you're seeing that they must just honestly own the lane right now. YZ really can't do much in this situation. He has to get out of lane, and he is NX to either he's going to slow down and buy time, and that's the part of his team, or he has to get out of lane right now like he's doing and push into these team fights with that Black Dragon.
Yeah, Black Dragon form is out. They both do catch on to Super Fringe, who is taken down. And this is what we were talking about. Mage is taken out. What do you have left as NX? We do see that Evos is trying to get out of here. Brusco able to find himself an escape, so they're not able to answer it with a killer there. Oh, but Sensu is hiding in this bush, trying to find a good opportunity. Comes in, Ryota gets taken out as well. Sensu trying to run away, does find himself an escape. Actually, no, he's going to come back around. He's too tanky for that. He says, no, sir, this is my jungle. Going to go ahead and throw Boyet a pop-up for his troubles, though.
Now, 2-2 is a great score for NX, right? We haven't stepped into that middle game at the 5-minute mark. Only the first items, pieces of them have been locked in. We have the Malefic Roar coming out from Brody, which is a huge item from him. They have to get the Brody rolling. If this goes to a scaling match, that Beatrix is going to 10-0 the Brody in DPS without a problem.
Yeah, and we've seen this before, that poking from her, and here comes another Mortal Coil onto Nets, who's going to have to expend that flicker, but here is Super Friends with the suppressive fire to go ahead and block out the rest of Evos from pushing any further.
Since we have a moment here, let's go back to a point we talked about earlier. That Beatrix that you talked about private is going to rock this Brody. And how do they get to it, right? In the late game, the Beatrix just has so much more options, but she doesn't have exactly the team fight around her as that Fredra and that Ruby offer. So I think it's really a job of Fredra and Ruby to not only bring things to Brody, but also buy him time to let him do that and disrupt the Beatrix. Don't let her stand in auto. Even if it's a snipe in the bush, don't let her get that close. Punish the positional errors from the Beatrix, maybe landing that snipe, maybe stepping out a little far. They need to punish the Beatrix.
Yeah, but how are you going to be getting into that back line? You're trying to make sure that you are close enough on Super Fringe to lay down that suppressive fire, but also not in a direct contact where Ding can come in. Here comes that suppressive fire, speaking of which, not enough as Domang's still hiding in that bush, but it is enough for Onyx to go ahead and secure that first tower.
And as you were just talking about, that one tower is great, and I would expect that out of Onyx to be taking those, right? But the YZ's actually done a little bit better in this lane than I thought on that other side, and I haven't seen like a really consistent good roam out of Onyx to get an upper hand. Right now, it's even.
Yeah, Keekdude might be in a little bit of trouble here. Net's trying to put on some suppressive fire of his own. Keekdude's actually, I thought he would be able to get away, but he does get taken down here. 4 members of EVOS over here as well, but they are going to go ahead and escape. That turtle was picked up in the meantime by Onyx as well. That is 3 turtles in a row. In comes Ding, taking down 2 for 1. Nets and Super Fringe get taken down. That is 3 down. That was 3 down for Onyx. They have 1 up as Keekdude gets back up. It was a beautiful play by him.
Black Dragon comes in, knocks 2 up with the knock up, and this is a huge swing for NX. This is big. Onyx should be winning at this point of the game. But now this Martis is going to be able to push in and do his things. When he was shut down early, he's back in the game. Everything is good to go. And that Beatrix is even more accelerated. Now that Brody's like, wait, where's the mid game? It's kind of moving past. I'm not going to get my spike. We're not going to have that window to do what we need to do. And now this Beatrix has been accelerated into the late game. And this is so good for the side of NX. And honestly, a sad story for Onyx. They have to catch something right now and turn this momentum around, or it's going to be trouble.
Yeah, at the 7-minute mark, you are starting to get into your power spikes. It's starting to fall out of the lanes and into these team fights and these objectives. First Lord will be back up at about 50 seconds from now as we are kind of spread out on the map and looking for an opportunity. Speaking of which, we do have a concealed play coming up here. Onyx sees it as Evo's trying to disengage. Ryota takes the slice of the side. Brusco trying to get away. Are they going to be able to take him down? Feathered airstrike coming down with an I'm offended by Keekdude to round them up and group them into a nice solid stack for Super Fringe.
NX just stretches a little bit too far. They forgot, oh yeah, we have the later game scaling. We're fighting in the early and mid. We don't have to do this, right? And they kind of press him to get that vision on the Lord and get position over in the river. And Onyx just absolutely punishes with that grouped up, holding people together with that Ruby and that Fredrum, that taunt, holding them in place for all the Farsa artillery to just roll down on them. A great play from Onyx to reassert themselves in this game and gain a little bit of momentum.
They are doing an absolutely excellent job of the placement of Super Fringe on this Farsa. They're protecting her. They're making sure that when she comes out, she just lays out so much damage so quickly that they're not even able to react with the Yuzong yet. So I'm still waiting for Ding on that Yuzong to be able to kind of come in during these team fights. Oh, we do see that boy in a little bit of trouble here, is taking the full frontal of 4 members of Onyx. And we do see down coming that feathered airstrike. We do take down Brusco. We are 1 man down. We do pick up the Lord as well. So this is a great fight for Onyx as they are pushing through to mid.
Right, that's such a great trade, right? Onyx, how far can they push this? Oh, a little counter.
Yeah, we do see the I'm offended coming in there, especially with that flicker though, but they do pay for that by themselves, and that's the problem with the Valentina. Does not have the defense that the Ruby would have. Black Dragon comes in. Is he going to be able to find a kill? He is not, unfortunately. Ding gets taken down here. 2 unanswered kills from Onyx, who are basically dominating right now. Oh, actually, they did not get that Lord. I thought they did.
Right, and that's what makes it such a good trade for NX. They trade 1 death for getting Lord and honestly buying them so much time in this game. As far as it may take him, he doesn't get quite, but then they save the mid lane turn. It may go down here, but still another stall. And getting that Lord just gives them so much time. Not only do you take it off of your map for your opponent, you only paid for it for 1 kill in a mid lane turret. Maybe a little bit expensive, but at least Onyx didn't get it.
Yeah, well, as we take a look at the player gold here, kind of amazing here right now. Kind of puts you into perspective of how commanding Onyx lead is. Jeez.
Look at that damage, Private.
Yeah, a ton of damage here, especially by the side of Onyx. You do have Goyinger doing his best on that Valentina, but when you have 4 other members of Onyx who are out damaging you, you're gonna have problems when it comes to these team fights, especially as we're moving into the late game, where Boyet on this Martis is going to start falling off.
Right, he's gonna start itemizing to tank things, right? He's gonna pick up the Molten Essence into the Cursed Helm. He's gonna pick up the Guardian Helm. He's gonna pick up those more tanky items, and his damage is gonna fall off. He still will have that opportunity to close out team fights and execute people, but he's not gonna have that same pressure with the Mortal Coil as he would, level 2 through 8.
Yeah, and it does look like he kind of already was starting with a tank build, more the objective-based build for more of the tankier heroes that we see. So he's mostly focused on trying to get these objectives, but my problem is they haven't gotten a single objective except for that Lord. So we really weren't capitalizing on it in the early game. We're going to have to see how we fare as we move into the 12-minute mark, moving into about the mid to late game, and seeing how these team fights are going to fare out.
Yeah, and we've already talked, I think NX has such a better team comp just because of the DPS coming out of Beatrix. And I think both team is a little bit in the same boat. They only have one marksman and one mage, and the rest of them are kind of supporting characters, right? I think the difference of that is YZ just has this initiation that cannot be stopped. And he's not like other YZs that aren't really going in it. He's got YZ syndrome. He's diving 5 people in the back line. The rest of his team's at base, and he's like, I think I can get a couple kills, and he goes in. I think I would rather have a YZ like that goes in and just people have to fear a little bit, and you have to keep them in your head rather than more of a cautious one.
And now we have the old Mexican standoff at the Lord, putting some little pot shots onto it, waiting for somebody to make a mistake. I'm pretty sure everybody knows where everybody is. We do see up at the top, but the moment they show themselves up at the top, we might have an engagement down here for Onyx. They're going to realize we're still waiting. Both teams doing their best, hiding in these bushes, making sure that they don't give up a position. They don't push up a side lane. They don't show their hand. We do see that Valentina did show herself up at top. We are down to about 10%. Black Dragon has been activated, going for the deep back line onto Nets, but he isn't able to find the kill onto it. He's going to try to get away. Down comes the feathered airstrike, and Sensu tried to get away. Not sure if he's going to be able to get out of it. Is able to dash away, and Boyet does get taken down into the deep line. Onyx is on the chase. Brusco and Domeg on the back line here, trying to put on some damage. Are they going to be able to? Here comes a beautiful ultimate there. Domeg with that machine gun, but it is not enough as Onyx turns their attention to the Lord.
An absolute wipe for the side of Onyx. And YZ goes in, spreads out the rest of the team. They're not able to DPS. The situation is split, but you see a little bit more cohesion from Onyx right there on the re-engage. The counter-engage from that YZ going back. They snap, and they're so cohesive in that fight, targeting one person down, next person down, next person down. Very focused, and I'm sure their comms are crystal clear right now.
Yeah, and that's the unfortunate thing, and that's what you see with some of these great teams. You get those engagements, they have to fall back. The entire team as a unit falls back, supports the fallback, and then is able to turn on the enemy with that cohesion that we were talking about, that synergy that you get from the team when they're all one unit. We have that Lord barreling down through the bottom, and Onyx pushing through the mid, trying to sync up all of their lanes. You can see here, we have them all kind of crashing around. At the same time, Ryota putting some work in on this mid. Luminous Lord crashing down at the bottom, and a grip of minions up at the top trying to push in as well. Who's going to make the first mistake? We do see that Kaja is hiding well into the back line. Not sure what his plan is yet. Oh, with Benedetta as well. Are they going to come in? They do have the they have the opportunity. They're coming in hopefully to get a nice little pick off here. Domain comes in there, but he gets an I'm offended for his troubles and gets taken down quickly. Now they are on the offense. Onyx is pushing in. It was a risky play. You had to think of something, and I don't blame Evos for trying, but Onyx able to see it, able to capitalize, and takes the advantage here. And this looks like it's going to be a core. Not much that Martis is going to be able to do to the entirety of the team here. Gets out with a Mortal Coil and then down for the count. This is the first game going over to Onyx.
What a clean finish right there. And I was just about to talk to say, oh, I don't think they're going to be able to break the base. Maybe they get one inhibitor. No, they catch a pick and they make it the game. And it's so important when you're defending that Lord to not let anyone die. Everyone play safe, play really passive. Let's turtle up and clear this out. And they get picked and they pay for it with the game private. Now it's 1-0 to Onyx. Now they're in a must-win situation. What are they going to do in this next game to bring it back a little bit?
Well, let's talk about some of the things that happened in that match. I mean, they had already realized how far gone the match was. They are a little over 6K behind with a Luminous Lord pushing in there. I have to applaud, like I said, the Kaja and Beatrix play there. It was trying something. However, if you sit down and you think about it, those are not the two players that you want in the back line without coverage. As soon as they saw them, there wasn't enough room for the rest of your team to kind of come in and try to help there. Beatrix got eliminated immediately. As soon as she showed the face, they're like, surprise, dead. So, I mean, hats off for trying something different. However, it was too far gone in the match, and maybe not the right people to be that far into the back line.
Yeah, I think you just got to believe in your win condition there and give up an inhibitor, right? And play for the late game. If your win condition is that late game team fight, Beatrix, protect comp because she's all the DPS. I mean, Valentina, we've talked about it again and again, just doesn't provide the same thing as that Farsa does, right? So it's really all on the Beatrix shoulders. And if she doesn't get there, it doesn't mean anything, right? So maybe they give up an inhibitor instead of like trying to make that their stand right there and take the game a little bit longer. It's just a buy time situation, and I felt like they rushed it a little bit there on that Lord.
Yeah, and then this kind of goes into it again. You do see Goyong there as well, basically carrying the team there for damage, 50k, but not enough to kind of withstand the pressure that was put onto them from Onyx. And this is kind of the problem when you get those Martis picks, those early jungles, and those teams that have to kind of wait so long, especially with the Beatrix in the late game. We've seen where she's able to pop off, but I mean, they didn't really have that front line to be able to give her the room, to give her the time and patience that she needs to be able to get those shots off before these fights.
I think that maybe people should find a different answer to Farsa in the mid lane with the Valentina. Is it the Yve? Is it maybe a Lu Yi or a Lilia getting a lot of lane pressure and keeping the Farsa in lane because her rotation is just so far and above what Valentina can offer? I feel like it really cracks open the game and Valentina is just not able to keep pace and the game kind of slips away. Yeah, Martis did a great job of stealing a Lord and providing a little bit of time, bought 2 minutes into the game. But what if that didn't happen, right? You're still stomped on in the mid lane, you don't get the Lord, and maybe this happens a couple of minutes sooner than it should. I want to see a different solution in the mid lane for Farsa.
Yeah, but that is not the only match that we're going to have, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take it over to Nets. He was the marksman for Onyx on that last match, and we're going to get an interview with him here right after these messages from Xena. Take it away, Xena.
Oh shit. Could it be the Farsa? Fuck. Sorry. So wow. Now that was a battle. Congratulations to Onyx for taking the first win. We are here with the MVP, Lacus. Is that what?
Nets. I almost did the same thing. It's Nets. His KDA is up there. Take it away, Xena.
We are here with Nets. How did you feel being on the marksman lane with the Beatrix?
Oh, that's what we wanted.
That's what you wanted? You knew, like, wait, what were you?
Totally not paying attention to the match. You want it up there. I'm sorry.
Anyway, how did you feel? How did you feel going into the match?
We felt good early, but knew we had to close the game.
Did you prepare strategy specifically for this team? Did you think it would be this easy?
We didn't have a specific strategy, but no, they're a well-respected team. We knew they'd be good.
But you guys dominated on them. Like, did you think you would do so well that quickly to beat them that fast?
I think we knew we had to win then, or we would have trouble later in the game.
All right. In the draft, did you think you guys had it in the bag? Did you guys really think that, oh, we got this? Like with the Farsa pick and the Valentina pick, like that. I noticed that you guys were like protecting Farsa. You did a really good job of that. So did you guys know going in that you guys were going to do so well?
Yeah, we were happy with the draft.
All right, that's good. Well, things are just heating up. Thank you for talking with us, Nets. We appreciate you taking the time. Things are just heating up, and we'll still got another round to see. So congratulations to Onyx for taking the first round. We'll see in the next match who will be moving on, or if Onyx was going to take the win, or if there's going to be another match right after this. So stick around after this short break because you don't want to miss who will take it all.
And we go to close. Much better, much less. You're starting to own these little mistakes. You're starting to just let them slide and go through. Like I said, I would the only thing I would say for a template, start off the interview by pandering to him. Just something nice, like, bro, and I am here with. You could always start it off with, like, you did such an amazing job out there. Just a great match. So hats off to you. Something to pander them. Something to
feel good.
yeah, something. Always congratulate. Always say something nice when you meet somebody there.
Like, yeah, you did horrible. I'm just kidding. No.
Dude, you have an amazing haircut. Let's get into this match. So how did you?
It's amazing.
You get, like, that's something, like, if you think about it, that's something Mara would say. Is she'd be like, I just want to say and stop out and say that your hair is amazing. Like, that's something. It's something silly you can add in there. It's. Don't be afraid to just kind of let loose about something. If you're like I said, pretend like you're talking to a friend if you ever get caught. All right.
So pause right quick. The screen is so pixelated for me, bro. I can't see anything.
Is it really?
I was shooting out from the
really
hip.
Pixelated.
I couldn't see a damn thing, bro.
Watch the stream instead because I was like, I can't with this because I couldn't see what was going on. But then I know the stream is like delayed by 5 seconds or so.
So then maybe I need to go into.
I was just shooting, bro. I had no idea what was going on. We were just rocking and
I
rolling.
was like, geez, you're doing so well. Can you see it not pixelated? Because I was like looking at it, I'm like, pixelated. I can't see what's going on.
Oh, wait, do I know how to change this? No. It is really pixelated, huh? Let me see.
For me, I can, like, see every individual pixel on the screen.
Jesus.
I can look at the score.
What were we doing? We were showing it as a what do you call it?
I'm not sure. You're the whiz, dude. I have no idea.
This is interesting.
Because it looks clear there in the background. But I don't know when it starts going if it'll be the same, you know.
Oh, it looks clear right now, but it's not when it's moving.
The background, not the ob shot, but the YouTube itself.
Oh, the YouTube looks clear. It's just my camera. So then maybe I try to show this. What were we doing before? I was doing the share screen with you, right? Let me see if I can do that here. And then I will just share the left side.
Chat, how we doing? Give us a rating. 1 out of 1. How we doing?
I know. Let us know. You know, I know I totally messed up a whole bunch of times.
You didn't mess up.
But then I tried to keep going forward because Ryan's like, stopping, and just go. So it's like, I'm gonna just keep going.
You did good. No, honestly, after you picked it up, it was awesome. And you carried through the interview. I was purposely giving you nothing.
Yeah. I'm like, damn it,
I'm trying to work on my energy at the beginning, so I'm not fucking starting off with a fucking sprint. I'm trying to
start
like
with
my
full AK clip.
Yeah, my hot moments, tiny bits at the turtle fights, but it's usually 6, 12 and on. Those are my moments to start. Okay, now I can bring it up a bit, and then back to 12. Now I can bring it up a bit. All right, I am showing it I am broadcasting it as a shared source. If you want to see that, Ben, I'll keep this one up in case Xena wants to see when we do interviews. Can you see that, Ben? Let me lower this section.
Thank you.
Because I'm when we do interviews, I'm just looking at the ninja, so fine. If you need to take it off, it's fine.
Okay. All right, we're about to be back.
Oh, Xena, by the way, you don't need to know his name. If you don't know his name, I don't know his name. You know?
Like, with this guy. What is
No, it
Well,
just feel like,
you
and
have
we
a
are
big win.
here
I didn't
with the Evos player who played Brody and had such a great time. You know, like you get
Oh,
stuck on certain things and just kind of get the problem solving out there. And
okay. We're
like I
here
said,
with
a lot of
that
these
evil dude right here, Brody player.
with the man,
Timothy.
the myth, the legend. This is the
Perfect.
greatest Brody player. You know, just anything like that. Just
This Brody. Okay.
or just call the pet names. What up, sugar?
Oh,
Sugar
I
burger.
know.
Oh
What
yeah.
up, sweetheart?
Like I'm gonna be saying that in the background time. If I ever hear Xena say sweetheart, like, oh, she doesn't know his name. That's a pretty good match to cast. We're gonna cast the second one of this affinity. If you have recommendations, we'll try to cast those as well. I know we're gonna have some more coming up here soon as well, and the qualifiers for North America are gonna be happening this weekend as well. So we'll
Private,
have time.
real quick, is that Affinity?
Affinity, yes.
Will you time him out for 60 seconds? Hit him with a minute from your boy. I love you. I love you, Affinity.
All right, we're gonna get right back into this. Let me find the spot here. Okay, so we already took a really long break. Get it out, get shaken. We are back in 3, 2, 1. Go, Xena.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm excited to see the next match. Net was so confident in his team's ability to win in the draft. So let's see if they can still keep that confidence up as we move on to the next round. So coming up next, we have the second battle to see if Onyx will take the win and move on to the next matches, or so let's check back with Private and Ben Dunhatted to see the next matches.
Thank you, Xena. That is correct. We are here in the next match. Evo's taking on Onyx, and back from a break, not a bake yet, but ready for action. Same for you, Ben.
Yeah, let's see what Ana can do to close this game out, right? I think the first draft is really beautiful from them. They got the Fredrin. I don't expect them to get the same lineup again, though. I hope not, at least from the coach of Evos. Now, Evos, I want to see a little bit of an adaptation, a little bit more early game strength, because I feel like they had too many eggs in the basket for late game.
Yeah, and that becomes the problem. I do know a lot of teams that like to wait for that late game, like to bet on it. However, there is that early game that you kind of need to vie for, need to kind of protect, need to hold the line. And that's something you need to think about when you're coming up with some of these drafts.
Private, they locked in Valentina again. Oh no, brother. We just talked about this is something we didn't want to see. So maybe they run this back a little bit differently. Maybe paired with something else that can really punch in the early game, because we're seeing the same matchup come out of them, and they're saying, okay, it wasn't the matchup that went wrong, but I'm curious to see if they've really nailed down what did go wrong.
Well, we're basically seeing the exact same draft from both teams. Farja picked up. I'm wondering if I maybe went back to the same exact match, trying to check it out here. Nope, it's the exact same draft. Sensu on that Fredrin, and then Superfriend's going to be picking up that Farja. So maybe there is, I do know that a lot of these teams, they do, when they have a winning draft, when they have a winning composition, they do like to stick with it. And it seems here that they are still confident in this first composition, but are going to be changing out that Beatrix for the carry.
Yeah, Carrie has seen a little bit of a nerf, but still very strong. And I'm really curious. I was going to say this happened a lot in M4, where the drafts would be mimicked from the earlier game, and then one change would come out that completely surprised it later on. I don't know if Carrie is that big switch up, because if you're really thinking about it, Carrie and the Beatrix kind of fulfilled a similar role. They have that later game domination spike. They're not that hot in the early. I do think Carrie, though, offers a little bit more armor shred if you really want to build that beefy front line that Onyx took last time. So I think they may shy away from that a little bit more, maybe for some more mobility and utility.
My only problem is you've traded out one marksman for another, but this marksman has the exact same problem, if not just a little bit more of a late game than Beatrix has. So you're kind of competing with the exact same issue. However, this isn't Beautiful picture there in the scenes there. But this is one of the problems I do see there, especially. Can we protect this carry so that we get to that late game? Yuzong's going to have some trouble into that lane as well. We already know that, especially picking up that XP laner. Like you've said before, XP lanes you kind of want to have as a later pick. You want to make sure that you're not getting countered out, especially too early here. Maybe they wanted to take it away. Maybe they had other thoughts about it, but we're going to be moving into this second draft phase as we do see that show getting taken off the board by Onyx.
Now, if they carry the same foot, they'll ban Lapu and they'll ban the glue again. I don't know if that'll follow the same trend, but I think if the logic served to protect the YZ a little bit in a lane, it stands true. And I don't know, maybe the Famous gets locked in again. There's so many different options that go into that. Famous was just one of them, right? So I think it's very open. If you pick your XP laner that early, expect him to get countered. So they're kind of playing into that. And so I expect Evos to have this late game, maybe like Hilda or Natalia, something really flashy that can get into this jungle or to get into that backline undetected and really mess up this game for Onyx, because Onyx saying like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And Evos, I don't know if it's an idea of pride or they're going back and saying, hey, we didn't play to our win condition. Let's play to our win condition this time. It'd be so wonderful to be in the comms and really understand, but we'll never know. We only get that viewer's picture.
Yeah, the only problem with a Hilda is she really kind of succumbs to that CC, especially from what a Ruby can provide. We do see, the Brody getting taken out. So they think they believe they have the answer here with taking out Brody. I think that only really leaves Melissa up as far as some of the more meta picks. Or Claude, which 17% win rate there for a Claude in these games. I was just about to say, I'm like, I don't recall too many successful Claudes that I've seen here, and then those stats are just going to go ahead and throw them out there. So very brave is Nets. I believe it is going to be Nets on that marksman.
Yeah, you got to be really confident to take a 17% win rate champion and just run it in a game too. Like, yeah, we got this, right? So it may be something that can be punished, right, from the side of Evos. Is this the pick that says, oh, this kind of tilts it over? Now they don't have that much early pressure in that marksman lane as the Brody into a later game scaler. Now it's kind of matched, right? Claude, you could argue, has the same or later spike than Carry, and then we see a big change with the Basha private.
Yeah, my thing here right now is we've picked up the Boxia. I do like. He does have kind of the same thing when it comes to being able to clear. Getting that jungle emblem on here is going to be making him an objective monster. The only problem right now is Lolita. Ooh. We do have a Lolita out here, but like we're going to have the stun. We're going to have team setting abilities. However, we have the bulwark, that's shield, which really isn't going to be having an effect here. I don't really see what it's going to be preventing here from the side of Onyx.
Yeah, I can see it soaking a lot of claw damage from that shield, right? But that's kind of really it. You don't have that Chang'e or something you're really countering, and you don't have like a Moskov you're training. It's really just for the Claude, I guess, and protecting a little bit of burst. But I think they've been caught a little bit here by Onyx. Onyx switched that last pick and locked in the Dairoth. Not only is it going to win the lane against YZ after a couple levels, and it has that level 1 spike, but it's going to shred into these tankier members and remove all that armor punch straight through. A great pick into the XP lane. It can be incredibly dominant, and I see YZ having the same problems he had last time. He's got to get out of that lane, and he's forced to get out of that lane, but they need to buy time at the same time. It's a hard position that Evos has found themselves in.
Yeah, we're going to see which one here, either the carry and the Boxia, or maybe bringing in that Claude and the Dairoth will be the game changer here, and for which team as we move on into game 2 of NXPE Evos taking on Onyx.
Now, I think the same thing's going to happen here. Onyx going to have this early game pressure with the Farsa and the Fredrin rotation. They're going to have such strength in that, right? The Valentina just can't match, right? But what Evos can do in this game is they can predict where they're at and either make another play on the other side of the map and not follow them late, or preempt them and catch them in their rotation over. I think this is a great place for Evos to make their own play on a different side of the map and start really trading things in a macro-style perspective, because now the win condition has been sapped away from the side of Evos. They don't have a late game scaler versus an early game scaler on the marksman anymore.
Yeah, and that's the interesting thing here, because with a Claude, you're kind of an even territory when you're taking on a carry. We do have a little bit of an abbreviated fight here at the mid. Brusco does find himself a little bit of a takeout there, but down at the bottom, as we were talking about it, the Dairoth does get taken out. Ryota taking out one that is going to give a nice bit of wiggle room for Ding on that Yuzong. As we come in there, Goyong in a little bit of trouble here is going to go ahead and use that double dash, does miss the stun from Kiki Doot, and they are going to go ahead and back up as Super Fringe taking a decent amount of damage. Sensu waiting in that bush, I guess just picking berries, you know, just getting the scenery and the wildlife over there.
I think it was a great job from Onyx to adjust the rotations here and make sure YZ gets a little bit of help, because he needs it against this Dairoth early. And I think that helps so much in this matchup later on. Now you're not as scared of that Dairoth punching you down and just rolling over the game. You've had one hit.
Speaking of which, yeah, Ryota might be in a little bit of trouble here. Black Dragon Form is coming out. Is he going to be able to put down the damage? He is able to pick up one, is not able to pick it up on another player. That is only one Ryota taken down. Again, this is going to open up this turtle for NXP Evos here, as we are still continuing on here. Anna Kikdu trying to come in there, does catch an I'm offended on there, but a beautiful dash out by Brusco as he helps his team be able to pick up that first turtle.
This is such a game plan change from Evos. Instead of focusing on gold lane, focusing on mid lane ganks around the bushes, they're focusing the Dairoth and punching him home. Now YZ doesn't have the kills, but he's got such a relief of pressure off that Dairoth, who's now been killed twice in the lane. And this Petrify YZ is doing work now, and he will have such freedom to do his thing now that Dairoth has been put down and in place.
Yeah, and now we're starting to hit a point here where that early game of Dairoth isn't going to be having as much of an effect with Yuzong, because now he's got that fear of being ganked again. We do see a little bit of an engagement here at mid, a little bit of trouble for Goyong, who is going to be able to dash over there. We do see the Feather Airstrike coming down with the ultimate by Sensu to be able to pick up that kill.
Yeah, that's big, and it's just the Farsa effect, right? You're faster, you rotate better, and then Sensu just comes in on the Frederick and taunts, and we have a little bit more of an engage here.
Oh, yeah, we do see that Speedy Light Wheel from Domag is going to be able to kick up a Geek Dude, who does use that flicker to get out of harm's way. And we do see a Super Fringe did get taken out there by Boyet there. He did chase all the way out there. Flicker, even with the flicker, Boyet, or Super Fringe, not able to get away. We do have Brusco here trying his patience. He does reset the teleport from Nets there. It looks like he's going to be staying anyway.
This is a different game coming at Evos. I don't know what the coach said to him, if they gave him, the Looney Tune water when he came back to the bench, but Evos is playing completely different in this early game and being aggressive with plays. And like I said, being proactive on the map, where they were very reactive to Onyx in the first game. Oh!
Wow, what a beautiful engagement here. They force Ryota into the back line, and then in the back, they are able to go ahead and clamor onto him. They push him, and so where he has nowhere to go, Black Dragon comes and squeezes the tightening choke even more to where he gets taken out here. And now we are on the turtle, trying to vie for a little bit of position here. Kikto pulling it very wisely to the perfect position here in the back line. Evo's trying to find a good position here. Brusco hiding in that bush. Is he going to be able to catch Farza? Waiting for Sensu to come out. We're playing the waiting game right now. Sensu comes out. We do have the health. The hammer comes out there. Does get a nice bonk. Catches it on the 3 people, but it is not enough. We have 4 members here. This is the time that you want. If I am Evos, I am attacking right now. We do have a kill on the Keek Dude, putting on the damage. Sensu gets taken aback. He does have to use that flicker to get, or does have to use that dash to get out of harm's way. It is still 5-1 right now, and we are still engaging up at the top. Nets in a little bit of trouble. He's going to have to use that battle mirror image, but it is not enough as Boyet comes charging in to that tower.
Completely being punished, man. Evo, this is a different game out of Evos, and I can't wait to see how this evolves into a mid game and a late game, because there's options on both sides. But I have to say, this Dairoth in the XP lane has been caught out, and he's been left out to dry by Onyx, and he's 0-3 now. As a Dairoth with the Festival of Blood, you don't have the high and dry, you have even less of an effect. What are you going to do now? Where's your purpose in this game? If you're not ahead on Dairoth, you're behind, and YZ is going to have freedom to dive into the back line, because honestly, right now, as an 0-3, you don't have any pressure on that YZ at all.
Yeah, and we're starting to move into a part of the game where even normal fed die rots will be falling off, and we're talking about one that is underfed right now. As Evo's looking for a good positioning here, starting to surround Onyx as we're moving in, looking like we're about 30 seconds from the next turtle.
Now, I do believe that Evos will control this turtle landscape completely. You can see Bionic going to make their own play. Really smart here.
Yeah, all 5 members there. There's not much for Boya to do on that type of engagement there. Saw the Claw there, got baited into an engagement, and then you have the entire team. But what this does is open up the map for Evos.
Now you see a lot of macro trades happening. We may have a fight here coming in as this engaged into the bush.
Yeah, unfortunately, we did miss that hammer by Brusco, so not able to catch anybody there as we go ahead and take a look at the items here at the 7-minute mark.
Now, Carry went for Corrosion. It's interesting. Of course, you get the Rod there. YZ actually didn't go for a tank first, went for Hunter Strike, and that just tells you he's so far ahead of the Dairoth. Dairoth has been relegated to going defensive itemization, going for the Dominus Ice, and has a little bit of pin, but that's like no damage on the tank from Dairoth. He's building tanky items early, not the position, but a good adaptation coming out of Dairoth at the 1 and 3 point. I expect Evos to take this this turtle without any contest and set up for the next play. I thought it was really smart that both teams traded objectives other places on the map, and it's just a testament to how high level gameplay this is.
Yeah, we see them they're starting to group up now. Is Onyx trying to make sure that there's nobody who's getting caught out there. Dairoth kind of sitting in the back of these trio as well. So, I mean, the only thing is, though, that they're starting to miss out. You're starting to expand this gap. We're already at about 4K, 6 and 2 in favor of Evo. So what does Onyx need to do to kind of turn this around?
I think trading macro right now is the best decision, right? And just scaling gold. 3K is a pretty bit of gold at the 8-minute mark. It's way less at the 12-minute mark, right? So slowly get yourself back in this game. Don't get caught. Play tight, like you said. There's no real punish for playing tight here, and so I think they should. Besides that low lead ultimate, it's good to group up from the side of Onyx and trade objectives.
Yeah, when you see that, I'm offended, and cleaned up with that feathered airstrike. In comes the Black Dragon. Isn't going to be enough as they're being pushed back. Kikdu does get taken down by Boyat DR there as well. So they do miss one. It is a 1-for-1 trade, and not exactly where you would like to be, but as long as you are able to answer it from Evo. So they're still continuing this pressure on, pushing up to try to take this red. I do believe they were able to steal that from Sensu, and Ane kind of in a bad way, starting to get a little bit desperate here as all these waves started to push onto them without them being able to answer it.
Yeah, now getting bullied out of your own jungle, and now Fredja may be taking a little bit low. He does get away. I don't know. It just looks so close at times, right? But now that the jungle is being sapped away, now laners are starting to share XP, right? And lucky for them, Evos is still pushing lanes into them, but there's going to come a point in this game where they stop pushing lanes into them, and the gold and the experience gain.
Yeah, we do see that Evo's trying to come in here. Onyx had a great opening, but this is what happens when you aren't able. Oh, beautiful Sensu able to dash out of the way, and Kikdu there to provide the CC to help Sensu get away. But this is going to go ahead and open up the Lord. Your main tank and jungler is taken down to about half health. We do see a beautiful I'm offended. Brusco is taken down. Half health on the Lord. Black Dragon is out. Super Fringe trying to get out of dodge. Does not want any piece of that, but this is going to go ahead and open it up for this Lord to be taken by Evos, and Delmeg here taking down some damage, is going to go ahead and have to flicker out of the way of Onyx. So this is the problem when you're being squeezed so tight here. Even staying still is not enough as you're giving the enemy an opportunity to get that Lord.
Yeah, checking out the next set of items now that the Lord's been taken, a little bit more gold into the pockets of Evos. And what are they buying with that? A whole lot of damage coming out from this lineup. The Basha is being so tanky, but it's really the itemization on carry that's going to provide all this damage. We talked about it. Valentina doesn't carry DPS. YZ has a little bit of backline threat, but you don't look at him as a DPS source. It's on carry. Even the Basha is going to do a little bit through the passive and the abilities, but it's all on the shoulders of carry. How can carry position with all this damage to take over this game and really punch through as these members on both sides get so tanky?
It's just amazing to me is just a few short little changes in there have provided such a difference and such a value in that Boxia and the carry picks there. Right now, 7 and 4, about a 5K gold lead, so they have expended it by 1K. Not terribly out of control here yet, but I mean, if Onic wants to get this game, they're gonna need to think of something quickly as we move into the 11-minute.
Look at that damage coming out of Valentina. I say I'm sorry. I was wrong. Valentina's got the smoke. This game is a total swap. She has double the damage of Farsa's and maybe a little bit of an engage.
Yeah, as we do see this Lord kind of coming down at the bottom, it isn't a Luminous yet, so they do. Oh, Sensu going to go ahead and check this bush as Brusco is going to go ahead and think twice about engaging him. And right now, you see the chokehold in its finest, pushing the lanes in, making sure that we take out all the jungle. And that's what you do in games like this: is you force the minions forward, clean out the jungle, and the only time that you kind of want the lanes frozen is when you're kind of taking the Lord.
Right, the taking the jungle and then forcing these laners to share experience and everything else is how you squeeze somebody out of the game. And it's been a really slow and methodical gold growth for the side of EVOS, and they're playing very calculated and cautiously, really methodically closing this game out.
Yeah, you see Brusco there. They're just not able to find an opening is Onyx. You're waiting for a mistake. Here comes the Feathered Airstrike. Is it going to be enough? Domang is going to get taken out there. Look at the damage he gets with that Speedy Light Wheel. Black Dragon way into the back, and Nets gets taken down for his troubles. We do have a Numenon Blast comes down, does catch Ryota as well, and I think that was a Numenon Blast from Goyang. Or no, it was from Brusco. I'm dumb. But so we do catch them there, and it is a 9-5 game here. We have closed the gap just a little bit to about 4K here for the side of EVOS, but what do they have left in the tank for these next engagements?
They want more. They're not done. They don't want to go back to Lord. They want to get some turrets before they go home.
Yeah, but they might be paying for that as Domain gets taken out there as well. Great successful defense by the side of Onic here. So they're going to go ahead and try to push forward here. Luminous Lord is up right now. This might be a mistake on the side of EVOS, overstaying their welcome at the base. Members need to start coming in here as we're about to have a skirmish here at the Lord. Everybody trying to get in here as fast as possible. Net's trying to get his stacks so that he can come in with that blazing duet. Oh, this might be bad for EVOS as they're not going to be able to come in. Black Dragon comes out. Is this going to be enough? We do see an I'm Offended as well coming out there. Net's still trying to get his stacks. Here comes that blazing duet. Are we going to have Ryota is able to take down the tank? Sensu is able to pick up that Lord. So Onic in a good way here as they chase down Ding as well. This might be a wipe for the side of EVOS as only Domeng on that carry and Goyang on that Valentina are left. So they're going to have a big push here coming through the mid.
This was a huge, greedy mistake. Carry falls down, and they're not able to take the fight onto the Lord. Now, Onic in the driver's seat, pushing down all this standing gold, all these turrets left on the map. This is going to be a huge gold influx for the side of Onic to finish off those items and resubmit themselves back in this game.
Yeah, I mean, you had this EVOS has got, man, I was just saying, what does Onic need to do? That they were patient, they found an opening, they waited for a mistake, and they were able to capitalize off it, especially since Carry got taken out early. We now have a Luminous Lord who's going to go ahead and chop this tower down to about half health, and here we are trying to put on the damage mid lane. We are down to inhibitors on all sides of the map. Only 2 inhibitors left now for the side of EVOS when they were in such a commanding lead only 15 seconds ago.
Now, that's the inhibitor that hurts the most in the game, right? It's the wave that's furthest away from the Lord's pit. And now Onyx going to look to completely control this jungle and not allow any access, no vision into this Lord, and make sure to freeze out EVOS. And this lane, this top lane is going to be pushed in again and again and again for the side of Onyx.
Yeah, we do see the Black Dragon coming in there. It's not going to be enough, though, as the rest of Onic doing a great job of peeling and kiting away from this fight. And this is just how desperate it is for EVOS. Look at them chasing here. They are going to go ahead and catch. Here comes the Numenon Blast. Do we have the flicker? We do, but we're only able to catch one. Keek Dude is going to be taken down here. Are we going to be able to find enough for Onic to be able to catch this blue? It doesn't look like they want it, and Keek Dude does get taken down as well. Yeah, you see Claude over there in the back line. Is he going to be able to do it? Ryota gets taken down as well. It is only Nets and Super Friends. They just like that Claude might be able to take it here. They do have to answer it. Claude in trouble. I don't think he cares. he does have that immortality. He's going to be able to get away. He's going to be able to, he gets caught into the CC, but this is going to be the final push possibly for this. Oh, look at that. A great effort. I can't believe that tower is down to like a sneeze of health. Sensu is here alone trying to fend this off. He does have 4 more seconds before he gets Keep Dude. Ryota will be following shortly. Is this going to be enough for Evos to try to take this down?
What a hair. And you know Claude's thinking there. He's like, man, I could have done this. I could have optimized the one more auto here. There's always something in those one auto situations that you could have played better. And Claude almost backdoors and finishes the game. And I was going to say, this is such a good position for Onyx. But before they got caught, Fredrin walks into blue buff alone. And such an unnecessary error forced out of the side of Onyx. And it didn't need to happen. They could have just sat in the river, controlled the Lord, the whole river there, and watched Evos walk into their bushes. But instead, he goes over, feeds the kill, and this completely breaks open the game for honestly a very entertaining match.
Yeah, and I have to say, Nets, from all the games that we've been seeing from him, his marksman ability is just pretty much in a class of its own. Just his knowledge, he's not even doing great this match, 1, 3, and 6, but just his knowledge to be able to go there and almost shut down this game and steal it away from Evos. It's just an amazing thing to see here. We do see that we have 2v1 here. Boya trying to do his best to kind of fend off this take of the Lord, but the rest of the team, we do have a little bit of a flank here. Ryota is going to have to get out of the way here. Sensu might be in a bad way. Black Dragon trying to clear the way and push the rest of the team out there with Nuna Blast coming down. Does land. Is it going to be enough? Goyong able to pick up the Lord. Domeg takes out Kiki. Dude, this might be a bad fight. Onyx still in chase here. Is this for the fight that they want? They're coming in here. Here comes a blazing duet. Is able to pick up Ding. We do see that Evos is on the run, but Onyx thinks twice about it. They do have a Lord coming there. They do need to make sure that they are ready for this defense. We are at 17 minutes, so it isn't impossible, but it does seem like the odds are stacked in the opposite fashion there. Brusko comes in back into the deep line. Ryota does get taken out. This might be it for the side of Onyx. NXP is going to be able to survive here. Let's go! An auto attack takes him down, and that's going to be all she wrote for this tower. Great play, great game, and that's going to be all she wrote for this core.
Man, what an entertaining match to watch. That was beautiful. The way the end of that played out, and it sometimes it like very high level executed cautious play while it's smart and good. Sometimes it can be a little boring. This match delivered though. What a greed fest of staying too late, trying to get too much, being punished, running it back, and then Claude almost backdoors, one auto away. You know he's thinking what he could have done to end the game right there.
Yeah, an amazing play by them, but it wasn't enough. And that kind of, I mean, the great plays aside, a sneaky and desperate plays like that, it was Evos's game to lose. They had the advantage early and continued that advantage through most of the game, which really did put Onyx in kind of a desperate place there. And it just took a little bit of a change. Having Boxia in the lineup did provide enough of an early game advantage to help them push along with Yuzong in there.
Yeah, I thought the game was really cautiously and controlled play from Evos there, slowly, incrementally growing their Goldie, taking a turret, taking some camps, really slow and methodical, and it was such good, strong play out of them, and then it got really sloppy really fast as some people started to make big moves on the map, and honestly, I'm kind of fanboying over the match. I just thought it was so much fun to see these teams go really back and forth, and you don't find many games where you're literally one auto away from the game going either way.
Yeah, but it does seem like the MVP is going to be picked up here by Goyong, the Valentina. We saw it over during the match. The damage, the immense amount of damage he was able to put out here. We were talking, I mean, basically a slap in the face to us for not believing, puny not believers in the Valentina, who thus far hasn't had the greatest of games, but here proved us wrong. 5, 1, and 11 kill participation at 84%. Not percent. It just does so much damage that I can't even wrap my tongue around it. But we are going to go ahead and catch us an interview with Goyong Jr., the mid who played Valentina. 5, 1, and 11. Take it away, Xena.
What an amazing match. Congratulations to Evos for taking the win. You guys did an amazing job. It was such a close match in the end. So, So how did you feel about that last match?
We got really nervous. We thought we were gonna lose with the Claude in the back there.
Dude, yeah, at the end he almost came and took the you barely had any left. That was a really good match. But going into the draft, you picked Valentina again. Did you have that much confidence in your ability with her?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
You have that much confidence in your ability with Valentina, uh, picking her again in the draft since
Oh
you
yeah.
were struggling with the Farsa with the
Yeah,
last.
and this time we just made our own plays early. So we pinpointed Daroth and we went down there and we took him out and we went there ourselves.
You guys did real well. Um, we noticed that Onyx chose the same draft. Did that affect your choices when you were choosing when you guys were going through the draft?
Yeah, we kind of did the same. And then we switched things up, but we just trusted our players and our coach for the strategy they gave us, and we just tried to execute better this time.
So you guys did a real good job this time. Did that Brody ban? Did you guys feel that Brody was the problem for your first match?
Not so much. I think it was just taking away something they were comfortable on, and maybe like forcing them onto something different. And I think that helped.
How did you feel about that 17% win rate Claude? That's when they chose that.
We don't think Claude's too strong right now, but in certain situations he can be used. And it didn't turn out like this was one of those though.
All right, thank you for talking with us again, Gong Young. We appreciate for having you here.
Thank you.
And congratulations again to Evos. We're looking forward to see the next match. This one was like you guys had the beginning matches, and at the end we almost thought you lost it, but you guys came back. So I can't wait to see the next match. We're gonna head back over to Private and Ben Dan Habdid to get a deep analysis of the matches.
Thank you, Xena. What a great interview there by Goyong and Xena. I mean, it's amazing. We were talking about it earlier. The pick priorities, going with basically the same composition, sans two different ingredients. Turned it from a I don't even know what you would call that first game, but into a cake. Whatever you make with these ingredients into a pie or a cake of some sort, a victory cake, we'll call it.
Well, while Private's in the kitchen, I think it happened a lot, right? In M4, where we saw that same draft come out, right? And then later, like the first pick, second pick, third pick, they would all be the same, and then you would start to see the changes. And I think that's just the same core pieces of a comp that come together. And we saw that a little bit. I think the difference in this game, though, was Ghost was proactive. They started to go down themselves, make their own plays into the Daroth, and they pinpointed that guy, and they ganked him again and again and again. And I don't know if it was necessarily Daroth itself, or it could have been the gold lane, it could have been maybe into the jungle, but just that cohesion and that synergy to go and make their own play. Maybe they traded macro play, sure, but we're being proactive. I think that was a complete different side of EVOS that we saw this game.
Well, the thing with Daroth too is he only provides you kind of that early and that 1v1. He's not really known for his team fighting synergy. So if you can attack him at his only saving grace, which is his 1v1, and you can make him have second thoughts about it, you've effectively shut down that Daroth.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing else he can bring to that team. He's not really a great solo pusher. He's not a great team fighter. And now you've taken away the only thing he has, which is that 1v1 and that laning presence. Great game and great composition, followed by a great strat by Evos there, NXPE there. But I think we'll go ahead and call it there since it is midnight 30. We won't do the third match. I think we're just going to go ahead and call it here.
So I was like 2 seconds behind that whole match.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what was with it, but I was like a couple seconds behind, so I had to like predict things, and like the team fight would happen for you, and I'd still be like talking. I was like, ah shit.
Oh, I noticed that you just kind of kept going, and I was like, oh, there's a team fight. Okay.
Hello, man.
I think it's because you're streaming at the same time, so it kind of has a little lag.
Oh.
You see the lag I'm talking about, Xena?
Oh, what I said was, I think it's because he's streaming right now too, cause so it has a little lag, cause that's what happened to me the other night when I was trying to stream some match too. So
You saw the delay I saw though.
yeah, I had like a
Okay.
little delay too.
Okay, cool.
These are
I
important
guess
to know.
private just and I guess this won't be like a problem in and of itself, but maybe if it did just take over, just get loud in that moment and go for it.
Oh yeah, well I didn't.
Because there was
even know
one
what
time I
going
left you
on.
out to dry. One time I didn't say anything and you picked it right there perfectly. And I didn't transition and you picked it perfectly.
Oh yeah, it's
I
no
forgot
problem. I
what it
just
was
didn't know that
about.
you. I didn't know that you were lagging, so it's not a huge deal. I don't mind those things. Like it's not hard for me to pick up in the middle as something's going on. I just it just depends. I don't want to. If I thought it was jarring to the point that like, oh my god, we are already 7 minutes into this fight and he's just still yammering, then I would probably pick it in. But we're talking. I think it was. I want to say like 5 or 4 seconds ahead, so I'm just like I can just pick it up from there right after that. The only thing is I
try to
didn't
give
catch
you,
the.
like-
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, sorry.
No, I
I
didn't-
try to like give you a few seconds before, I try to end like while it's like ramping up, and sometimes it doesn't ramp up, but I want you to like introduce it because you have that big voice, it just sounds so good if you like are able to have the cadence up and down. It sounds so good, and I want to use that.
Oh, we'll keep practicing with that. Much better this time, Xena. We just need you to kind of.
For real.
You're gonna need to, like I said, get. I would actually just get some questions. In fact, I would even write some questions if you need some. Just some basic
Yeah.
backups.
I do have
Backups.
some basic ones.
Huh?
Yeah. I do have some. I should I'll add a little bit more, but this one I was able to pick off some things. So that last one, did I do a good job in that interview? Like more.
I
Yeah,
thought
it was
too
more.
detailed. Maybe private. What do you think? I thought it was like too detailed.
It was too
Oh,
detailed.
but so
Okay.
yeah,
I thought so.
it's.
Maybe
I'll lean to private though. That's just what I thought. Private's got way
No,
more,
like
you know what I
it's fine. The big thing is just getting comfortable. Like you don't need, like I said, and I've told you this before, you don't need to get too into the picks and stuff like that. Even just overall, like just very generic questions, but they just have to be more natural. Just things like think of like that last match. Is there anything generic you can think of, like to ask?
Oh, for that last match, it was like, oh, how are you feeling about that last match? Is what I had. What else do I have? Do you think you guys had a
Like
good
for me
chance in the
personally,
draft?
like for me personally, just off the top of my head, I'd be like, oh man, it's from the first game to the second game. What a change! And what do you believe? What do you believe? You don't have to get specific. You don't have to remember the names, Boxia or Carrie. Like that was such a difference from the last of the first game. What do you think was the main factor because of that? And do you think that and then you can maybe go off of what they say a little bit more. And then how does it feel? You got you had a loss the first game. Second game is a win. How are you feeling moving into this next match? And just like I said, very generic things. You're not going to have interviews in between like this. We're just doing this for you. So like most of the time, it's going to be at the end. It's going to be at the end of a match, at the end of a series, and you're going to be interviewing the winners, and you'll have much more generic. Oh, that was a great win. Hey, what's going on? Is it hi, Mariah? Mariah, we were just doing a casting practice here. I'm really sorry. What is going on, guys? If you guys have been watching, because I know we did have some people here watching, please comment. Let us know what you think was good, what you think was bad. But yeah, I agree with Ben. You can get more generic. That's why you keep tripping over, is because you're trying to be something you're not. You're trying to be an analyst. You're not here because of your game prowess. I hate to say it online. You're here because you're pretty, you're beautiful, and you're gonna get the attention of people. So you just have to ask those questions that keep some people engaged. It doesn't need to be very specific into so I noticed that on your third item was the golden staff there, and that only provides about 100 more DPS than the you know what I mean?
I'll think of some generic things to.
Yeah, that can apply to any situation. Yeah, play off of what they say. Like I said, you're having a conversation. Stop interviewing. That's the one thing I can say. Stop interviewing people. Talk to them.
Okay.
Because if
God, I keep
the
trying.
weird, like I said, pretend like you're talking to me. Pretend like you're talking to Trex when we were eating that barbecue. If you would have the way you came, if you would have been like, well, how was that? Okay, and then the next question is like, it's just like having conversations.
The taste of that.
Oh.
Oh my God.
And this one, how was this one? And this one.
It was much better than last though. Honestly, in those last few interviews, you it felt way more comfortable than previously, right? So I think massive increase. I was gonna say something I forgot. Sorry. Oh, I was gonna say like Private talked about earlier. Reach that line of flirting a little bit more. So maybe you have to go over the line to get closer to that, but a little bit more. Private, what did you say? Like not flirting, but the line to flirting. So get closer to that point.
Okay.
Yeah, like it kind of comes down with the comfort thing. Like I said, you're just talking with people, you're trying to get to know them. People respond well to niceness and to how do I say it? Like you're a waitress trying to get tips, you know what I mean? Like you're smiling at them, you're complimenting them, and you just want them to like you. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be this professional, like, here's the questions, got to get these ones pumped out. If he doesn't get the answer, I need to squeeze it out of him. It's just like I would say,
exude sexuality. Exude it. Like, I don't know, like.
Burst it.
Not like that. Nope. Nope.
That's it. That's the sexiest bok. But yeah, I mean, you're getting there. You're getting a lot better, and there's big steps taken from here to the last one. The biggest thing is prepping. Like I said, practice questions have stuff like that, especially very vague ones. If you can come up with specific questions during it, fine. But have those backups there. Like, how was the game for you guys? How do you feel about that? Or, like I said, compliment. I love the compliment at the beginning. That was very natural. That was very good. And it really kind of flowed into it. But you need to keep that conversation going into staying natural with it. And resist the urge to transform into interview Xena. You're Xena. You're having conversation with these friends who just happen to play this game.
I need to practice conversational. I'm gonna just start talking to people, and then like.
You're fine though. You're doing, like I said, it takes practice. It takes time. Don't ever look at this stuff like, oh, these guys are such naturals. How do I even get that? None of this stuff is natural. This has all been rehearsed. The stuff I say, how I did, like I said, I've been through the military. I was in Chicago. I've done these things over and over and over and practiced before and messed up thousands of times. And we mess up on stream. I don't know if you notice it, but I know me and Ben will notice each and every one of the mistakes that we make during casting and stuff like that. And we'll be like, God damn, that was dumb. But we'll just try to move past it and skirt through it. And I tell you, we make tons of them during our casts. You just it's hard. It's like learning to drive when you don't know how to drive. You think your parents just like are so, like, everybody who you watch drive is just like, it's so fluid, they're so natural at it. But then you don't realize when you start driving, there's all these little corrections that they do, there's all these little adjustments that they do every single second while they're driving. And that's just what you need to understand. Like, none of this is going to be natural. You just need to kind of like practice, rehearse, and you'll get there.
How'd you feel?
Anything else?
Do you feel better?
Yeah, I feel a little bit more better. But of course, I need to work on conversation stuff. But I feel like I'm not as nervous as I usually am. So this is helping me a lot. So.
Okay. Yeah. Probably anything you noticed from me and you?
The only thing was that the first match, I noticed your energy was maybe a bit too much. That might have been on me. Like I said, we need to, I'm really starting, because it's something my girl has noticed too. She's like, there's too big, like, cause I already have like way too much energy when it comes to these things. So I need to kind of dial it up. I can't, every single time. Like I do turn it down when it's not fights, but every fight can't be the greatest fight ever. So like I need to kind of start dialing it up when it comes to 6 minutes and the 12 minutes. And the same thing with some of the I want to say the analysts you were giving at the first match. Okay. It was like very fast paced. You were talking very, very fast to let us know what's going on, and it's like, it was a little early. We didn't really need to get that far into it. We can kind of calm down. One thing I want to try to practice a bit more is if there is a lull, we don't try to stop getting more repetitive over the same things. I think we've commented. We're at a point where you know what you're talking about analyst wise. But a lot of the stuff we say starts getting a little repetitive because it's the same drafts over and fucking over again. And we can only go into that so much. I've been watching some of the MPLs and they can get kind of comfortable with each other. They'll talk about other things on there, make some jokes in there while we're waiting for a fight to go on. Maybe we can start practicing that as well. And then I think the biggest thing is making sure that we're telling a story about we're gonna have to start trying to sprinkle in caters to people who don't watch Mobile Legends. Not everybody knows that 6 minute mark. That's what I was trying to do too, is I was starting to get into the times more of power spikes and stuff like that. So if you've never watched Mobile Legends, 6 minute mark, it's going to start happening. Things are going to start coming up there. So pay attention at that point. But like honestly, it's starting to get real smooth between us. And even like I said, those little things about you being kind of a lag. Hi Array, what's going on Twice? What's going on? Is there no VODs? We just finished our VODs. Oh my god. Did we get another raid? I hope not. We're about to end, guys. If you guys want to watch this, you can find it on YouTube, or you can find this stream on Twitch too to watch some of the past ones. We'll probably have another one as well. When do you guys want to do this again? Can you do it again?
As soon as possible, man.
Whenever we do our practices, up to like the time that the same time would be fine.
You sure? How's Thursday looking?
Cool, man.
Xena?
Yeah, that's fine.
You sure? Okay. I don't want to put her on the spot in front of everybody. Now, Xena, Thursday, you're going to abandon it? No, just kidding. But yeah, okay, so guys, we'll be here. Turn on the charm. Yeah, we'll be here on Thursday. If you guys have anything, just put it in the chat about recommendations, or if you guys, how that was for you guys. And then, yeah, we'll review it again and go over some things. Like I said, it was much smoother. I didn't even notice that you were lagging, just because I just thought it was maybe a little slow. And I'm like, oh, he's really taking his time with this. So